Uh, all right, we're live. Welcome to that Nerdy Catholic live stream. I want to thank you for joining me today. Um, if you are on with me, today is an Ask Me Anything day, so leave your questions or comments in the chat box, and I will answer them. Uh, I I'm really enjoying the times that I get to hang out with you guys, and and you know, uh, I'm sorry, I just had the worst brain fart ever. I was in the middle of saying something, I heard a noise, and I completely forgot. Anyways, I'm I love hanging out with you guys, answering any questions you have, and all right, come hang out with me. I wanted to talk a little bit today, in lieu of any questions. I wanted to talk a little bit today about the future of this channel, where I want to go, the kinds of things I want to do, and I want to get your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think about, some of the videos that I'm planning on doing, and the direction where I'm headed with this channel. And oh, excuse me. I always seem to get this little thing right here, right when I'm starting to do a live stream, that always seems to just get stuck in my throat. So, hey Lou, thanks for hanging out with me today. If any thoughts, questions, uh, in any conversation you want to have, just let me know. If anyone who's watching, leave a comment or question, and let's take this conversation wherever you want it to go. But while I'm waiting for questions or comments, I just, as I said, want to talk about where this channel is going, and I would love to hear from you. What are some other channels that you watch? Whether it's actually, what would you say is one of your favorite Catholic YouTube channels, one of your favorite non-Catholic but Christian YouTube channels, and just one of your favorite channels in general? Also, what are the kinds of things that you get on YouTube to watch? I have to say, recently, I have kind of gotten addicted to, I've discovered a handful of channels on YouTube that are all woodworking channels. And there are a number of, I think everyone that I've seen, all these different channels, they have a certain group of videos that are all about lathing. Whether they're making bowls, there are a number that they're making these balls. Some of them are making them with just wood, some with wooden resin, but there's something about watching someone working on a lathe that is just, it's mesmerizing. And I could just sit there and watch this for it feels like forever. It's just so soothing. And it made me realize that one of the reasons I go to YouTube myself when I'm watching is just to be transported somewhere else, and especially if it's something that is relaxing, it just kind of sucks me in. So I've been watching these lathing videos, and they're just beautiful, especially when there's a video like that where they get to the end and you have some beautiful product from what they've been doing. So that's one of the things that I've been really getting into lately. But where do I want to go in this channel? So I've been doing this now since Ash Wednesday. Well, I've had this channel up for a lot longer than that, but if you go back before Ash Wednesday of this year, I think I only had a few videos up, and those are mostly, I think they're mostly projects that I had done for my master's program. And so I've started seriously doing this back on Ash Wednesday, and so since then I've been pretty much in a constant state of trying to figure out where I want to go with this. And um, one of the things I did over Lent, I was in a group of people that were all doing this challenge of putting up a video every day. My commitment was to put up a video every Monday through Saturday, and so in part of this we were learning how to grow our channels and how to improve our videos. And I just lost my train of thought again. I'm sorry. But one of the things that we talked about a bit was this is the point in this stage of my YouTube channel. I have a little over 1,000 subscribers, and this is a time that I really want to experiment. And I would love your feedback whenever I put up a video, especially if it's something that I haven't done before. I would love your feedback. The one that I put up a week and a half ago was I'm going to be doing some of my vlogs, trying to be more like Peter McKinnon is one of my I guess you might be able to say hero. One of the people that I love watching on YouTube, where his videos are they're just gorgeous. His skill of getting B-roll and putting it together and putting it to music, I love his style. And so I'm going to be doing some vlogs in that style. So Ryan King says you watched this channel. Thanks, Ryan. Some of the journey home and lots of Hitchens and Dr. Bert Herman. Interesting. It's an interesting combination there. If you Ryan, if you enjoy watching the journey home, if you're ever free, Monday nights at 8 p.m. is when the journey home airs live. I don't have cable, and so I can't watch it there, but I watch it through the EWTN Roku app. You can also stream it live through the website. But Matt Swaim and I, who is a coworker of mine at the Coming Home Network, every Monday night at 8, we're watching the Journey Home live, and we are tweeting with hashtag JHprogram. And so if you're ever watching the Journey Home live, hop on Twitter and do a search for the hashtag JHprogram, and you'll see Matt and I tweeting out during the program some of the great quotes, thoughts, responding to whatever the guest of that week is saying. And it's always an interesting conversation, especially when other people are doing the same thing, and we get some back and forth going. It's cool. Lou says, I really like Casey Cole's OFM channel. I actually don't know that. I saw Casey, and the first thing that popped in my head was Casey Neistat, but I don't know that. And in Catholic TV, I mostly watch BookTube though. So Lou, is that something on YouTube, or is that a different site? I haven't heard of BookTube before. What do they do on BookTube? Let me know. So one of the things that I want to do is I want to start telling more stories on this channel, and when I started thinking about doing videos or film, whichever direction I wanted to go, I think my goal, what I'd love to do, is think about where do I want to see myself in 5 years. I know everyone asks that question, where do I see myself in 5 years? I think I would like to be doing, I think I would like to be doing some documentaries type thing. I think I'd like to be doing some documentary type videos. it's a little, sorry about that. Back on track. So when I was doing my master's program, I was doing it in digital media, and my final project was an interactive documentary on the sacraments, and that was a neat project because it had to do with filmmaking. It also had to do with web development and web design, and so part of the project was actually writing the code, and then part of it was going out shooting interviews, putting together the footage, getting images. If you don't know what an interactive documentary is, it's a website that has video clips and images and text. Trying to make an immersive experience of browsing through browsing through this page and watching video, reading text, and so I want to get back into doing projects like that. Whether I go back to the one about the sacraments or something else, I created my own custom WordPress theme that I use to put in the text and the images and the video, and so at some point I want to get back to that or a similar project. But I want to tell stories. And so this morning I was at my men's group, and I asked them if they would be okay with me going in and taping a video of our men's group and sharing. That's one of the things. When I became Catholic, my priest told me that I should bring in everything that I had gained. I had shared with him my experience in this non-denominational church, and the things I was involved in, and he really encouraged me to bring that in with me. That that there's so many things that I've talked about this before. There's so many things that are happening, so many good things that are happening in different Protestant evangelical churches that Catholics can learn so much from. And so one of the things is small groups. I went to a large non-denominational church in the Boston area. I can't remember the numbers, but I think there were somewhere around 4,000 people that attended this church. It might have been 5,000. It was in the thousands, and I believe the number was about 80% of all the adults that went to this church were in some sort of a small group or a Bible study, and most of these small groups met in people's homes, and so that is something that I want to share more about. My own experiences before I was Catholic, but even now that I am Catholic, I'm in a great small group of men. We meet at a coffee shop every Wednesday morning, and so that's a story that I want to share. I want to make a short video about that, going back to something along the lines of the Peter McKinnon style of even in his vlogs he makes them feel like a short documentary. So Lou says, please check out Casey Cole's channel if you haven't. Oh, Breaking the Habit. I forgot his name, Lou. Breaking in the Habit. I love. I just discovered his channel a few weeks ago. I love it. And he's in Chicago. He's not that far from me. And so at some point I'm going to connect with him or try to connect with him to see if we can do some sort of a collaboration together, because he's got some high quality videos out there, and I love his honesty. Yes, that is a great channel, and someone that I would love to do some work with at some point. I want to connect with some musicians and do something with them. I'm not sure what yet, but there are a couple of musicians that I've listened to for a long time that I would love to connect with and try and do some sort of collaboration with. I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to build one up and then connect with them and have them say they don't want to do anything. And so I'll let you know if anything progresses in that area. So that's the direction. I mean, as far as the style and some of the subjects I'm thinking about for some future videos. Ryan says a documentary on art and conversion would be interesting. I believe that Peter Hitchens became a Christian after viewing a painting. Actually, that is a great subject, and I am going to be doing some short videos on the role of art. Actually, today at 3 p.m. I haven't put my plug in yet for the Coming Home Network live stream. Today at 3 p.m. On youtube.com/Coming Home Network, the Coming Home Network live stream we're having. Today we are going to be talking about the role of art and statues in Catholic prayer, and asking the question: is art and statues, are they only I can't remember the question now. Do they fit only in Catholic prayer, or can they fit in the prayer life of a Protestant or an evangelical? And the guest that will be on today will be the guest on that live stream will be my wife, who, if you, I think I've talked about her on this channel before. She's a painter, and she does a lot of work in oil and in watercolor. She has a whole series on church interiors. She has a series of paintings based on the Annunciation, and another series of Mary paintings, which are beautiful. Go over to michellepayne.com, and you can see all of her paintings there. But she will be the guest on this afternoon's Coming Home Network live stream. We'll be talking about art, statues, and Catholic prayer. But no, I agree that the idea of art and conversion, I think, is a really interesting topic, and I definitely think someone should do a documentary like that. There's a group that my wife and I are involved in called Catholic Creatives, and I think now there definitely over 1,000 people that are involved in this group. But the concept behind this group is that, the desire to bring beauty and high quality art back into the Catholic Church. If you look at the history of art, the history of art is so tied with the history of the Church that you think about all of the big famous artists, between the 15th and 18th century. They're all, church artists. They're doing art for the Church, and the Church is supporting them. The Church and prominent members of the Church are patrons of the art. They're the ones that are paying for this art. I think that there are some people that are trying to get back to something along those lines. Help support Catholic artists, whether it's visual or music or even something like this, working on videos and film. So I think that is, my note for my wife, that was a big part of her conversion, and so yeah, that would be a great documentary, Ryan. So Jello Jenna says, I agree that a collab with Casey Cole and a video about the role of art in conversion would be amazing. So I am going to write both of those things down, put those in my planner for the future, and connect with, try and connect with Casey sometime soon. My wife's family lives in the Chicago area, so I'm out there rather frequently. So I thought that would be a good day trip into the city the next time I'm out there. So one of the things that I definitely wanted to hit on is I mentioned this last week, and next week we're going to be starting with the first chapter of Peter Kreeft's Catholics and Protestants, What Can We Learn from Each Other? And so if you want to go along through it with me, you can go, there's a link down in the description below to this book on Amazon where you can purchase it. That's an affiliate link, so if you purchase it to that link, that will go to help this channel and help this channel grow. But they're short chapters. They're only about, I think, 3 to 6 pages each. The first one is the longest, but mainly because he brings in a lot of scripture passages that he wants you to read. But we're going to be going through this chapter a week, very short, but I think it'll be a good part of the live stream. I think there are, I mentioned this last week, it's one of the main things that I want to do on this channel is to see how Catholics and Protestants can learn from each other and what we can learn from each other. When I was coming into the Catholic Church, there's so many things that I learned in that process. And then at the same time, I was meeting a lot of Catholics in the parish that I was going to at the time where I was confirmed. And I realized that they were learning a lot from me, that they were learning a lot from my own experience as a Protestant. And it keeps being kind of enforced in my own experience, reinforced in my own experiences, that there are things that Protestants and Catholics not only can but need to learn from each other. We are, I think that the more secular the world becomes, the more that we have to realize that we have so much in common, and the things that we have in common are so important. They're really a lot. The core of our faith are the things we have in common, and the fact that we believe in one God. Really, look at the creed. The creed summarizes what we all have in common. So next week we're going to be doing chapter 1 of Peter Kreeft, Catholics and Protestants, what can we learn from each other? There was one other thought that I had been thinking that is a good thing to talk about. One of the things that this channel is not going to be is apologetics, and I will bring up some apologetics topics now and then, and probably touch on them in a lot of my videos. But there are a lot of channels out there that do apologetics, and I'm not an apologist. I don't do enough reading or studying to be an apologist. And so this channel is going to be, will always be about my story, about other people's stories, and just sharing experiences. And I think that's where we can really reach people the best. You think about some of the people that I love watching. As I said, Peter McKinnon, Casey Neistat, they tell their story. They tell a story of their life, of their what they love to do. You know, Peter McKinnon's videos are all about his love of photography, sharing what he's learned and sharing where he's gone, and you know, or you know, Casey Cole's channel, you know, Breaking in the Habit. His love of his life as a brother. It's just his story. He is not doing any apologetics about religious life. He is just telling his story about how he is, you know, the name of his channel, how he is breaking in the habit and becoming, you know, more of a, you know, religious every day. So Ryan has a question. General question: is confession reserved for? I'm going to say that's Catholics, not Catgolics. Although I would like to know what a Catgolic is. Sorry. That is, can anyone go to confession? You know, I'm not sure. I believe that it is. I mean, I think you could go to confession if you wanted, but for the, I don't know. I'm not positive exactly how this works, but off the top of my head, I would say that you need to be in good standing with the Catholic Church, that you need to be united with her through baptism and confirmation. Although I'm not sure. I will have to look that up. Brian, I will look that up this week, and we can talk about it next week. Now that you asked that, I'm really I'm curious about that now, exactly what the state of that is. The reason I'm questioning it, the reason I'm not sure, is that I know that in different parishes and different dioceses, when you look at when a kid grows up, they go through their different sacraments, and baptism is always first, but the order of the other sacraments is different. And so I know some places you have you know baptism, and then baptism first, then confession and first Eucharist, and then confirmation. And some it's baptism, then confirmation and confession and first Eucharist. So I'm not sure. So that saying that to say that I'm not sure exactly what sacraments you need to go through before you can go to confession for the first time. So I'm going to look that up and get back to you. Dr. Dunkelweiss says, excellent author, Peter Crape. Absolutely. I love all of Peter Crape's books. If you go to youtube.com/ComingHomeNetwork, we've put out a couple, if we put out two so far, I can't remember, one or two. We have some short videos with an interview that I was able to do with Peter Crape back in the winter. And we will be coming out with at least 2 or 3 more with him, and just such a wonderful person, so down to earth. I love being able to interview him because really was just about 40 minutes of just sitting with him and doing some Catholic geeking out, because the number of geek references that we're all able to drop and just laugh with each other. It was one of my favorite experiences I've had so far. So that's one of the reasons why I want to go through this book, because I know how real, how down to earth, but how kind and compassionate Peter Kraft is with whatever topic he's talking about. So I'm excited to go through this book. So that's, you have just tuned in for 1/2 hour of some rambling thoughts out of my brain, and as I said at the beginning, I love this. I love this time just hanging out with you guys, and I want to thank you for coming and just spending some time with me. Next week, just a reminder, we're going to be starting going through Peter Kraft's Catholics and Protestants, What Can We Learn from Each Other? This live stream has been brought to you by Nerdy Catholic Tees. It just came out with a new one just in the last couple of days. The Wave Walker Surfing Company. Just a little jab at Peter trying to walk on water with Jesus. So if you go over to nerdycatholictees.com and use the coupon code ThatNerdyCatholic, you will get 10% off of your first order. Another reminder, today at 3 p.m., head over to youtube.com/ComingHomeNetwork for the Coming Home Network live stream this week. We are talking about prayer, statues, and art, and how those all fit together. And I think that's going to be a great conversation as well. So I want to thank you all for joining me. Hopefully I'm going to have a video out this week, this Friday, talking about, well, it'll be a surprise. Come back on Friday to see what this week's video is going to be about. So thank you so much for joining me. As always, it's just a great time hanging out with you. And I will see you later. Bye.